Today, the plan is to remove this lava lake so I can get my nether perimeter right down to bedrock. But we're not finished removing the blocks above, which means I need to craft some more TNT. So I'm back over here in my witch hut perimeter, and I thought I was completely out of gunpowder. I did have 2 more boxes in there, so I did craft up a little bit. So to fix that, I've been AFK here at my witch hut perimeter, and it's been going a bit crazy. And the reason for that is I forgot about one of the recent changes to witch drops, and that is redstone has been increased massively. And I was AFK here for about half an hour, and I think I got about half a double chest of gunpowder, but then this had completely filled up, and then the overflow from that goes into the shulker box loader. So I've had a fair few shulker boxes fill up, but I also have an overflow around here as well, and this was completely full of redstone as well. So I needed to increase the filters for the redstone, so that's what I've done here. I've added another 2, and these all pick up the redstone, and as you can see, they do flow in quite quickly. So that first filter down there gets filled up so quickly because there's so much redstone coming down. These 2 get filled up as well, and it's still going into the shulker box loader. At the moment though, I don't seem to be getting any going into here. It's only when one of these fills up that happens, but that does happen quite a lot if I have a long AFK session. But I have done that for a bit, and I've managed to get 5 full shulker boxes of gunpowder and a little bit more. So these 5 shulker boxes will turn into 1 full shulker box of TNT. That's not great, is it? So if we pick these up and get back over to where the sand duper is, I'll show you why I've been a little bit silly. Okay, so the sand that we got from the sand duper last time, I completely emptied out. So I AFK'd here for a little bit again, and I timed it this time, and it was 11 minutes. So if we go through, I can show you what we got from that. And it is absolutely ridiculous. So down here as well, we'll have a look at that chest in a minute. I do have a little bit more gunpowder there. But this is what happened from 11 minutes of AFK. And it is still actually coming through. I didn't let it all come through the hoppers. So yeah, this thing is absolutely mad. I reckon 15 minutes would fill this up completely, which is crazy. But the slight oversight on my part was I had 11 full shulker boxes of gunpowder in here that I completely forgot I'd put in here. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying, but at least we don't have to do any more AFK, and we can fix up the witch farm storage another time. Right, so I spent a little bit of time crafting, and I've used all of this sand. These are all empty now, and all of this gunpowder has gone. All these are empty, so we just have 2 full boxes left, so I'll definitely not forget that these are here, and there's a little bit left in there. But then these 2 at the bottom are full of TNT, and this one is almost there as well, so that is plenty to be getting on with. So we'll take these over to the nether perimeter and see what we can do. Okay, so back over in the nether, I've tidied up my storage area a little bit, and I've got everything here I should need for today. So those TNT that I just crafted, those are here, the little bit that I had left over, and then just the usual suspects of the bits I need for the flying machines. I've got a load of slime blocks, pistons, and observers, and this is the stuff that I'm going to use for doing the lava. So we'll have a look at that later, but for now, I'm just going to grab a ton of this TNT, and we're going to get on with doing something similar to what we did at the end of the last episode, if I can get away from the skeletons. So we did these 2 sections. As you can see, they're a bit rough and need tidying up a lot. But I'm going to do the same thing I did on these 2 sections over here. So I've got this basalt delta, and then we've got this nether waste. And this one should be fairly easy because there's a massive cave underneath, so I shouldn't need to go too far with this one. And there is a TNT dupe over here I need to get rid of as well. I'll get this one done first, I think. So let's jump into a time lapse and do some damage. Right, so there we are, a few hours of progress there, and yet there was a bit of an issue. I did die again, and that was from TNT shot by a ghast, and it was really annoying because I actually saw it coming this time. There was a row of TNT, and I had another bit over here, and I heard the ghast shoot, I heard the TNT start exploding, but it was quite far away from me. But because I was in a too high gap like this, I couldn't set off, and yeah, the TNT just got me. But I was hoping that because I was quite far away from the TNT when it exploded, I might not die. Or if I did, I wouldn't lose all my gear. And I was right, I didn't lose absolutely everything. I didn't lose my bow, and I also found a stack of TNT and a handful of rockets. So yeah, that's a result, isn't it? But anyway, never mind. We don't need to talk about another full set of diamond gear gone, and I also lost another netherite pickaxe, but as I say, we don't need to talk about it. So made a lot of progress there. After all the bombing, I switched to using a beacon and doing a lot of digging, but we can't really see from up here, can we, because of all this fog. And because I'm not using Optifine anymore, there is no option in Sodium to turn it off. But I have found another mod that lets us remove this fog, and we can see exactly what's going on. So if I turn the fog off now, we can have a look at this in all its glory. And there we are, stood in the exact same spot. This is how it looks. So we can't really see the biomes at the minute, but luckily we can see the gas, which is great fun. Again, yes, I am so good at this game. Anyway, this is where we are at the minute, and a lot of progress has been made. I'm very happy with this. Now we can see everything all together. I've done a lot, but it also shows us that going back this way, there's definitely a lot more to do. So this goes to the outer perimeter, the blue cylinder. Yeah, just up there. But also this side, I haven't done anything over here yet. I definitely need to get some more TNT placed along here, which I'm a little bit nervous about, but it's not that bad. If I bomb some of this out, we should be good. So I think next, I was going to do some flying machines, but now I can see all the lava like this, I really want to make a start on getting this removed. And I do have a few techniques that I'm going to use. I've never done a big lava lake like this before, so I have a few ideas, and I'm probably going to use a mix of all of them. So let's go have a look at the stuff that we've got, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so one of the standard things for removing any kind of fluids in Minecraft, we can drop the gravity blocks into it from a height, and I'll take them out. We do this when we're doing ocean monuments, dropping sand and gravel in, and that is no different here. The only problem that we do have is if it's soul sand below the lava, it won't work, because it breaks the gravel when it hits it, and it'll just destroy the block. So we need to do something about that. But anywhere there's no soul sand, this is absolutely fine. So I've got 3 shulker boxes of gravel, which isn't going to do loads, but I'm only going to use it for sectioning off really, and then I'm going to use some other techniques. I'm also going to try scaffolding, which I've never done before, but apparently this is a really good technique. Because the scaffolding, when it's placed in lava, it doesn't burn. And you can build this out in different directions and it will replace all the lava, so that is definitely a good thing. But I'm also going to try buckets as well. Because we've got an absolute ton of iron, infinite iron basically, we can just fill our inventory with buckets, and then as we right click on the lava to remove it, the bucket will just get dropped in the lava and destroyed, which is fine. I have no problem with throwing all these buckets away. And then yeah, a few more in there. But I've also got slime blocks because I want to try building some flying machines, and I found a really cool design that uses pistons to push down into the lava to replace it, rather than just using slime blocks, because if you do that it can drag blocks across and things can break. But also to go with that, so we can double up on the amount that we can use, I've also got a ton of honey blocks as well. So we'll get to this in a bit, but for now I think I'm just going to grab some gravel and try sectioning a few things off. Right, so now the question is, where do I start? But now we have no fog, that decision is made much easier, so I can just stand up here and figure out what I want to do. So I know that bit over there is a soul sand valley, so that's going to have all the soul sand below the lava lake, so I definitely don't want to do that first. I believe that's the same just over there as well. Yeah, you can see all the soul sand above, that's the same. I think what I would like to do is basically clear everything out of this central strip that I've bombed. I think if I can get all of this lava out as well, that'd be a good place to have these flying machines built to do the rest of this. Although with the flying machines that I'm building, it does make sense to be able to do it in like longer runs, but maybe this is too long, and we've got this bit in the middle anyway. So yeah, I think what I'll do, I think I'm going to have this central strip all cleared out, and then we can have the flying machines going from the center to that way, and then also going that way as well. So yeah, I've got a little bit of work to do over here, and it's not that deep over here actually, because this is where the fortress was originally. And then this bit over here, I've already started removing this out a little bit. You can see the gravel over here, but then I've got this big bit at the back that I need to remove, and I have no idea how deep this is, so I think I just need to start doing this die. So I've got a ton of gravel, let's do it. Right, so in this section over here, I think it looks a lot worse than it is. And the reason I think that is because there's lots of flowing lava. So I started by blocking all of that off, and I ended up with just a few pools here and there and a few random sources. So some of the pools were quite deep, so I have left a couple of them, as you can see here at the end, but everything else is now gone. So moving on from there, I went to the side where the big lava lake is, and I just started blocking off the flowing lava there. And this is where we're eventually going to build the flying machines. And then I just moved down to the other end where you can still see the pillars from the fortress, and again here just blocking off the flowing lava and making that a little bit more manageable. Right, so this is where we are at the minute, and things are looking a little bit better. We do have a few deep pools over here that I need to drop some gravel into, but that's not very interesting, so I'll do that later. So what I've just done now is I've done this little strip over here. I've just put some gravel in, and that did use quite a lot because this is quite deep. So what I want to do here is test out the scaffolding method. So it is quite a small section, and doing this over a much larger area will probably take forever. So that's why I just want to try out, get a feel for doing it on a small section and see how it goes. But there's lots of magma cubes around here, so this should be interesting. And I've also had a few gas shoot at me. So I've just built this little hut here so I can put my shulker box down without getting shot at. And I have watched a video on the technique of how to do this by Rudog1, and I'll put a link to his video down in the description. So basically what we need to do is drop gravel or sand into one corner, and then from there we're just going to build the scaffolding to fill out the whole level. And then from there, if we break this gravel by one block, and then we can build the blocks, the layer underneath it, and then break what's on top and get it all back, hopefully. In theory, that's it. We should just be able to go all the way around, right down to the bottom. Now, depending on how deep it is and how big it is, you're going to need a lot of scaffolding, and it's also going to take quite a long time. So let's just do this, put that down like that, and then we just need to build this across, and then it'll start setting down pillars. And you also need to make sure that there's no soul sand below here as well, because that will just break the scaffolding and you'll lose it. So I know this is all basalt delta and it's all basalt below here, so shouldn't have a problem here. So we're just going to go all the way around, right down to the end, and then we can just start working our way around like this. And we're going to go right to the other side, and this is an 8 wide section, so it's the exact same way as in the video I was watching. So hopefully this should go, go away. So we're just going to go all the way around the edge, and I'm definitely going to get pushed in, because I did at one point when I was doing some of the other bits, and luckily I had a fire resistance potion on the hotbar, and I now have 2 on me now just in case, because they will get used at some point. This isn't too bad, just going all the way around, and it'll add in a few pillars here and there. Oh, yeah, see, I knew what was going to happen. Alright, a minute out, didn't need to use the fire potion. Let's let's regroup. See, it's another problem, swinging swords around scaffolding, not a great idea. Right, so let's get rid of that. And then if we do that all the way back along this way. Right, that's that first bit done. So now we just need to pick one of the blocks in the middle and get that all the way down to the end as well. And then the idea is that we have the pillars at different points from where these are on each side. And then once we start placing the blocks in the middle, they should be supported from a few different areas. And then when we break the ones on top, it's not going to destroy everything. Right, so that is the 3 lines going all the way across. Now, got all that. We should just be able to place them all the way along like this, and they should just go all the way to the other side, and we'll have 1 layer completely done. Okay, so that is 1 layer completely done. Now, all we need to do, we should be able to break this one here, and everything's still supported. And now, we need to break this gravel, but it's going to have lava on either side of it. It's going to flow in straight away, so we need to place that down like that. And now, if we come down here and start placing these along, you see that stop there because it's got to the next one, but we should be able to break the ones on top and get to the next bit, and then we can just keep going until all of this lava underneath is completely replaced. So I'll get this one done, and then we can have a look and see if it's something we want to do for this whole thing. Okay, so carrying on doing this, it is a little bit of a pain. Now, I don't know if that is the technique of using the scaffolding itself, or if it's because I'm doing this in a basalt delta, and I spent so much time killing magma cubes that were attacking me, and that made it slightly annoying. And I also did lose about 2 stacks of scaffolding while doing this, partly because I was breaking them by accident because of the magma cubes. Also, at one point a gas shot at me, and other times I think I just didn't place enough before breaking the ones on top. But we did get down to the bottom, and it didn't actually take that long. So after that, as I thought this was quite low, I decided to dig down and set up a beacon. And as it turns out, this goes into the tunnel I created a long time ago when I was looking for ancient debris. So I set up the beacon, and then I thought, why not dig out the rest of this that I've just taken out right down to the bedrock. So I did that, and this is actually quite a big occasion, because this is the first time I have a point in this perimeter where we can see the bedrock at the bottom and also at the top. And there it is. That is the first bit of the perimeter that's actually done. It's only a little strip going down here, but that goes all the way up to the bedrock at the top as well. So we're getting there. First step done. Now we just need to do it for the rest of it. So down here, there was a load of lava, and this is why I stopped in this tunnel when I was doing it originally. And those were those 2 lava pools that were at the end that I decided to leave. But I've done it now. So I just dropped a load of gravel into these, and yeah, as you can see, they are absolutely massive. So all of this I had to fill up with gravel, but I dug all of that out. So those are done. No more lava pools over here. That's all done. Next step, as you can see from my inventory, I'm going to have a test and see if this bucket method works okay. So it is obviously going to use up a ton of buckets, and it may be seen as a bit of a waste, but I have infinite iron. So it really is as simple as just holding down right click and basically just get all the lava and everything just falls back in. So I'm hoping this should be a fairly quick process. So I have a few more lava pools over here that I'm going to get rid of, and I think that's it. I may do that big one, but I can't see me doing this massive lava lake with this, but it may work for just like little bits like this. I just want to see if it's any quicker than doing this with the gravel. So I'll get this done, and then we can finally get on with testing out the flying machines. Right, so I got all this hole bucketed out right to the bottom, and it's not the most resource friendly because I used a whole inventory full of buckets. So yeah, definitely very wasteful, and I probably won't be doing that again unless it's quite a small area. But at least I've given it a test. Tick that one off the list. So now finally we can get on with doing a few fly machines. So I'm just going to give that a go along here. Maybe just a short section along here, see how it goes, and then we can make a decision on how we're actually going to do this. Oh, I really hate these things. I can't wait to bomb this whole area and just kill you all. Right, so let's talk fly machines. What we're going to do is let's see if I can build this, because the pistons have to be placed upside down, so that's a little bit annoying. But what we're going to do is have like a piston facing down like that. We're then going to have an observer on the front of this facing forward. So we'll have a flying machine on the back pushing these forward. So when they get pushed, this observer is going to notice something's different and then push the piston down. So as this moves across, the lava is going to be at this level, and this piston is going to push down and replace anything below it. So if there is, go away. So if there is a block there, this piston won't be able to push, but it's not going to break anything. So this is a really good way of doing it. The piston's pushing down will replace lava if it can. If not, it'll just not push and wait till the next block and try again. So we're going to build an array of these, because as these are 3 blocks that we need to push, we can build these 4 wide, and then that means it's 12 blocks, and that's the limit for the pistons pushing. So that is why we've got the honey as well. So if we have 4 of these across, that'll be 12, and then if we have the honey blocks for the next 4, that'll be another 12. So that one flying machine will be able to push these 8 wide machines, and then we're just going to build a whole load of those going all the way across this lava lake. But I think what I want to do, just to give this a test, I'm going to build one 8 wide section going that way and see how effective it is. Now the downside to this is, because it's so simple, it won't even come back, so we'll need to send it straight across there, take it apart, and then rebuild it. But I'm happy with that, because I like to keep things as simple as possible when it's these flying machines, and it's the same thing when I use the bombers. I like to do the most simple version I can, and it's just easy to build and I don't have to think about it. It may be worth figuring out a design that could come back, but you know what, I'm not going to do that. I found this, I like it, so we'll give it a test and see how it goes. Right, so I've got the first section of that built now, all ready to set off. I just need to make sure that there's no blocks on the surface in its path. And I did actually start building a wall along here as well out of gravel, but a magma cube knocked me in, so I'm not playing anymore. I'm not playing those things, so I'm just going to get rid of these blocks, and I think this should be enough. So yeah, that's in line with that. Those will clear down there, and I think we should be okay now. So we'll just double check looking from down here if that is going to be alright. And they're stood right on top of there. That's great, thanks. So what we need to do now, if we break these blocks, we should see these pistons fire below, and then lava will just flow in, but it shouldn't break anything, I don't think. So yeah, those fired, but nothing starts moving until I break that slime block, and then it should be good to go. Right, so all those pistons are like the firing. Let's give this a go and see what happens. Right, so all I need to do is break this, and that should set off. So it didn't push down there, and as you can see, if there's any blocks below, it won't do it. I'll just put some blocks in here as well, just to stop things going everywhere. So I'll just need to follow this along. Right, so it's cleared that out there. That didn't break there, which is good. So let's just go stand over here somewhere. And the great thing about lava, unlike water, is it won't create a source between it, so we don't need to block it in at the sides. That is just going to clear that all the way along. Once we get loads of these going on, it's going to clear it out in no time. And it didn't take long to build that at all. Having that section where I can build it from below is definitely very handy. But once it gets down here, it's going to be a problem, isn't it? I was supposed to put blocks there to stop it. Right, let's do that quickly. Alright, yeah, let's just put these along here. Probably should do it further back, but that'll do for now. So that has got down there, no issue. The problem is though now, I need to break this completely, so I should have probably cleared out below it and had a section over here where it could go to. But I believe if I replace these with sticky pistons, it will go back. It just won't take these observers with it, which isn't too much of an issue. I can live with that. So let's give that a try, and then I can just dismantle it over there. I'm going to lose these pistons, but I'm alright with that. Oh no, did that? Oh, that's stuck on there because it's honey, didn't it? Can I get that? Yes. Right. So if I put those there like that. And then I believe if I update this one, it'll go back. Yeah, and that's taking those with it. It's just like these observers. So I'm alright with that. I could probably pull some more gravel down here. And then when that gets back over there, it's going to push again because I haven't left on the obsidian. So let's go do that. Let's go like that. That should be somewhere near, shouldn't it? Did that work? Oh, that should stop. No, the machine's still going. Come here. Okay, so I can now dismantle all this and then build... Actually, I can leave that there for now. And I can just need to build them going along that way just to cover this whole lava lake. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I think this is definitely the way we're going to go. There will be some bits where I need to use gravel, maybe some scaffolding in places. Maybe the buckets in smaller areas, but even the smaller areas I can probably just use gravel. So I think now I want to start bombing a few more things. Get rid of these blocks at the top and then we can start working on lava. But now I can see all this. It's not that bad at the top. All I need to do is clear out these corners a little bit. And yeah, I do have a fairly big section over here in the basalt delta. So we need to grab some more TNT, blow all of this up. And then we can get the flying machines going. Get all this bomb down to lava level. And then we can get these machines built. And get all the lava removed. Which when you say it like that, it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But yeah, it is. So let's do it. Okay, so the amount of blocks still left in this basalt delta is bothering me a bit. So I decided to just place a load of TNT on the top and obviously set that off for a big explosion. And it didn't really do as much as I would have liked it to. So I did more of the same, piled up a ton more TNT and set that off again and did a little bit more damage. But this area is going to need a lot more work. So I decided to move across into the netherrack and I dug a few holes down into here in a 2 wide grid pattern. I then placed TNT in the holes and then I set that off and this did a lot more damage, much more satisfying doing this in the netherrack. Then I did a bit more around the basalt delta, definitely don't want to give up on this. Set that off and another big satisfying explosion. But then I decided I really want to get this netherrack area down, so I piled up a load more TNT on the top, not worrying too much about the pattern, just piling a load on and setting all of this off. Got rid of an absolute ton of blocks, but unfortunately it revealed a load of lava sources, so I spent a bit of time getting rid of all of this lava, and then I was nearly there where I could get building some flying machines. So I placed a load along the edges, in the corners where the TNT drops and tends to explode much higher than I'd like it to. And after getting that done, I built the platform for where the flying machines are going to be built, just to make my life a little bit easier. I then built one flying machine at the edge and set this off just to test that this was okay. And I got that going and it went all the way down and back again. No problem. I then built the machine at the other end of this platform and I set this off, and again no problems here, this went all the way down to the end and back again. So I built the full set of flying machines for this first platform with the TNT jupers on the front. So I set them off and I had a few issues with them setting off again as I'd missed a couple of observers, so I fixed that. But then because I was so far away, the others broke out the other end. They just glitched out and yeah, bad times. So after they all got back, I removed the blocks and fixed them up again, set them off, and in one run they pretty much destroyed everything. So I then built another big section of flying machines, 19 this time, and I don't normally do this many at once, but I wanted maximum destruction. I set them all off and had a few jupers break due to the land being too high, but it's kind of expected on the first run. But it did reveal a massive amount of lava sources again, so I got rid of all of these. I then fixed up the TNT jupers and set them off again, removing the lava between runs, and after 2 runs in total, these were all done and got everything down to the lava level. So I built the last jupers needed for this side of the perimeter, and this took out the last big section of the fortress. Lots of lava to remove, but after a short time, all the blocks had been destroyed. Okay, so after all that bombing, this is where we are. We've got everything on this side of the perimeter completely cleared out. It may look like there's a few bits sticking out, but if we have a look at the cylinder that we want to try and clear out, it's this inner one, and we're doing alright. I do have this bit over here, and this is what's left of the nether fortress, but if we have a look at the top of that, I have put a little obsidian cap on top of this, and that's because this, I don't know if we can see, but this is where the blaze spawner is, so I have decided to try and save that. I do have another one over here somewhere. I think it's in this bit, everything looks so different now, I can't tell. Yeah, so we do have another one there, so I'll probably save this one as well, but all of that side of the perimeter is completely done. So now I could get on with removing the blocks up here, but it's so painful getting through everything in this basalt delta. It looks like I've hardly done anything up here. It's just so much still left to do. So I think to keep this fun, I'm going to try and get rid of all this lava down here. Now, I say that's fun, but compared to that, I think it is going to be. So we already know what we're doing. How did I miss that? So we already know what we're doing. We're going to build a load more of these things and get them all going across that way. I did think I may change... Oh, go away, I'm talking. I did think maybe it'd be a better idea to go across this way, but I think because a lot of that is outside of this cylinder anyway, I think going across this way and trying to concentrate on this centre bit is going to make much more sense. Okay, so I'm just starting out by clearing out a little bit of space at the back, and this is going to make this a lot easier later on when I need to dismantle these things. And I am doing this hard way, especially because there's soul sand below here, so I've taken a fire potion and swam down into the lava, placing gravel on the soul sand, and then I can go to the top and drop it back in. And even place some blocks around the observers from the test we did earlier, and that allowed me to pick these up nice and safe. Then it's on to building the flying machines themselves, and I normally do like building big repetitive things like this, but as you can see, there's plenty of magma cubes that were very interested in what I was doing, and they basically just kept getting in my way. And not only that, I had multiple gas shoot at me while I was doing this, so I had to replace things, and I've probably missed something that they've broken, but I did eventually get it all done. Right, so this is where we are at the minute, and I did do a little bit more over at the other side. I've extended that all the way along, just dug down through these bits that were netherrack, and I've placed gravel through all lava, and it is quite a big area. I'm glad I came over here to explain that, because I haven't placed the obsidian yet. I'm not even sure which height I should do it at. So I do need to take out the blocks on the surface of the lava as well, but there's not too many. There's stuff like this here, and there's a few little bits over there, but as long as I get rid of those, we should be good. And I've also left a trench at this side as well, and the reason for that is I'm going to break all the blocks at the top, so the lava can flow down into there, and then when the flying machines come past, they're not going to hit this and get stuck. So I'll get this placed, and then we can give this a test, and hopefully it'll work nice and easy first time, and all the lava will be pretty much gone. Okay, so I got all that obsidian placed at the other end, and I've also removed the gravel on the edge, so that lava is now flowing down into the trench. So the next step over here, I need to move these netherrack temporary blocks to the front, and we should hear all those pistons firing as I do that. You go away. Sick of all these magma cubes now. So if I get rid of all this, I just need to move the blocks that are in front of the lava at this side. If I can actually do it. Go away. And then we should be ready to set this off, and everything's going to go great, and there's going to be no problems, obviously. Right, over there. Okay, that's everything done there. Now, we need to move the blocks to this side. Now, I don't have a trench all the way down here, so this could be slightly difficult. I do have 2 minutes left on my fire resistance potion though, so let's do that. Right, that should be it for that side. So if we just do this all the way along, we should be able to set it off. Oh, I've got a minute. Alright. Okay, right. So now, when I set these off, these pistons should move along here and not do anything because they can't push down. But once they get into this bit, they should be alright. And I have removed all of the blocks over there as well. So technically, this should work. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, there's another one. Oh my god, I hate gas. Right, did you break anything? Because if you did, I'm going to go away. You know, I really wish I'd built these at the other end now. Okay, everything looks good there. So, you know, I just want to set this off. Just go. Right, so it is pushing along. It's not getting stuck on anything. That's good. So let's try and find a spot where we can watch this from. Okay, that's pushing along. And pushing down every now and then where it can. Alright, this seems to be going well. Oh no, is that going to get stuck there? Is it going to go over the top? Right, we're good. Okay, so this is going well. Let's move down here a bit. See if we can see any blocks that need to be removed. But I don't think there is anything. Right, yes. I think if I build them this side next time and send them that way, that's going to be much easier, isn't it? Right, that's there now. So let's set the rest of them off, and hopefully this should go well. Right, so we've run into trouble there straight away, and I completely forgot to remove this nether brick. Luckily, we hadn't gone very far though, so I just sent the flying machines back, and after removing the nether brick, set them off again, and they pushed those two machines right down to the end. So everything else got there fine and removed all the lava on the way, so that is really good. Got a good chunk of it out there already. So I've just started digging out some of the blocks around the edge and a few more in the middle so we can get on with the next layers. Right, so from here we can see how much damage that has done. We've taken this down by 2 layers, which is really good. So if I get these built, I can move them down 2 blocks and build them at this side and then send them across that way. I am going to need to dig down a little bit more, both on this side and over there where all the basalt is, so that's a little bit annoying. May need to get a beacon set up. Before I do that, I think I'm going to go this way instead and try and remove as much of this as possible. So I'm going to build them at this height, but starting this way and going across that way. But I'm painfully aware how long this episode is getting now, so I think it's time to jump into a time lapse and get this lava removed. Okay, and there it is. That has now all gone. This used to be a lava lake, and now there's no lava. It's all completely gone. And to be honest, the process of doing this, it's not actually that bad. I quite enjoyed doing it. Apart from these things. Magma cubes are now my most hated mob. I think they killed me once, and there were other deaths, but we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, magma cubes, in particular, the small ones. These little things, because I always forget that they do damage. Well, I did before doing this. Small slimes don't do damage. These things, they do. And if you get it backed into a corner, and there's a few of them, you could very easily die to these things. So yeah, these are annoying, and they made the whole process just a complete pain, to be honest. Building the machines themselves, even like doing the gravel and scaffolding, I enjoy it all. It's just fighting off the mobs. The magma cubes and the gas, there's so many gas as well that I had to kill. But see what I mean? I turn my back and 2 of them just spawn like this. Absolutely madness. And there's another one there. This is crazy. Now I've got all the lava over here. I've just made this into a big like mob farm. So I need to get all this bombed out as well, which I did have an idea of doing that right now. But the problem is there's going to be tons of lava here, below here as well. And I just can't be bothered to do any more at the minute. Will you please go away? So I think it's probably going to be time to call it a day, isn't it? Because I've spent so long on this. I haven't done anything else while I've been doing this. I normally have things going on and planning things out and stuff, but it just hasn't happened because I've spent so much time doing this, fighting these things off and getting all this lava down. But we have the biggest lava lake in this area completely done now. So if we have a look at mini HUD, everything inside this inner sphere pretty much is done. So we have this little corner over here, and the reason I left this is because it's quite a big lake on its own, but there's only a little bit of it that I actually need to get rid of. So I will get this done at some point, but the main thing we really need to focus on is getting back to doing some bombing and getting rid of all this. So this is at a level, I think, where I could do some flying machines and get all this bombed out. But over here, yeah, there's going to need to be a little bit more manual stuff. So I may set up a couple of beacons, do a bit of digging, and there's another ghast. But yeah, I've got a lot more block removal to do. The good news is, though, over at this side, there's not as much lava. So if we turn this back on, there's a bit over here. But this is all basalt delta, and there's not a lot underneath. I have had a quick peek under there, and there's not a lot that I need to get rid of. So that should be fairly easy compared to what I've done over here. But I think for now, I'm going to have to leave it there. Got an absolute ton of stuff done today. Loads of blocks removed at the top, and all that lava removed in this huge lava lake behind me, or what was a lava lake anyway. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.